So what does the Demony player need to do after the round? Let's say you've just gotten done with the round, and it was one of those days of the bad kind. You just got off the 18th hole, thank God it's over. Didn't run out of balls, congratulations, because you loaded up so many. The first thing you need to do after you sign your scorecard, you're not going to stick around, first of all. You're not going to talk to your friends and ask them what they shot and all that stuff. You just need to get out of there. But before you do, you need to go to the driving range real quick. All right, you need to hit about 10 shots. So get out there and pull out your driver, if that was the club that was giving you fits all day, and just hit 10 balls. Don't think too hard, just hit 10. And you'll find that you're gonna like stripe it. You're gonna be a PGA Tour player on the driving range, immediately following your extraordinarily demony round of golf. I'm gonna get into more about that later, but that's just the way it is. And that you need to do that because you got to give yourself a little bit of hope that you can still play this game and leave the golf course with at least a semblance that you might be able to figure it out one of these days. So that's your first thing. Go do that. Then once you're in the car, here's your chance, if you're a stats person, to kind of run through your round in the mind a little bit. Now, a normal person, when they're thinking about their stats, it might sound something like this. Man, if I hadn't have three-putted that one hole and maybe I misclubbed this one, I could have saved 2 or 3 shots. Man, I could have shot 69 instead of 71. Like, I miss those days of thinking like that. That used to be me. Nowadays, it's more like, okay, I lost 12 balls. Or I'm sorry, I lost 6 golf balls, which is 12 shots. And I shot 84. That would have been 72, and then I three-putted once, 71. But you're not really worried about the three-putt, because who cares if you shoot 84 or 83, right? So when you're thinking about your stats, if you have a demony day, you don't really need to worry about anything like strokes gained putting or fairways hit or greens hit or anything. What you need is a stat designed for you. I wish they had strokes gained demon for this one. But what you really need to do in order to like track your progress and see how you're coming along, if you're working on it, is to think about how many tee shots you hit and the amount that were findable or not findable. It's a very binary system. Only 2 possible outcomes. So a couple things that are unique about this form of stat tracking is that, one, you count every shot you actually hit, not just the ones that count to your score. So, an example from earlier, I talked about an opening tee shot where you hit your first shot right into the native, and then proceeded to hit 2 left into the native, and then 1 down the middle. So, and then proceed to find that first ball in the native and make par. So let's say that example, if you're looking at it with traditional stats, it would be pretty simple. You missed the fairway, you hit the green, and you 2-putted, right? Well, that doesn't really tell the whole story. In reality, you hit 4 tee shots, 3 of which were unfindable, or could have been unfindable if you hadn't kind of gotten lucky and found that first one. Which is a key point, okay? If you hit one into the native and find it, it still counts in this stat as unfindable, okay? Because you might not have found it. There's some percentage of the time where you're going to find those and some percentage where you're not. But from a performance standpoint, you got to count that as unfindable, along with it either hit out of bounds or into a hazard. So for your demon stat on that tee box, you're going to be batting 250. You hit 4 tee shots, you only hit 1 findable for sure in the fairway, and then the other 3 were not findable, even though you happened to find the first one. So keep track of that stat over a couple of rounds and see kind of where you're at, first of all. And then as you start to work on your game, on fixing the problem, hopefully you'll see that percentage improve over time. But you gotta have the whole story, and the regular stats don't really do it justice. All right, this video I think still totally applies. You need a stat designed for you, strokes gained demon, and there's no other stat that does it. You have to do it in your head. If you were going to write down one stat in a little log, this would be the one. You want to see your percentages go up. They won't just go in a straight line, just like anything in golf. It's going to be like this. But that's the stat. That's the only thing, in fact, I would even care about in a tournament round. I wouldn't worry about shooting score. Who cares? Doesn't matter what you shoot. If you're demoning it, if you're shooting it all over the place off the tee, you're not going to shoot a good score probably. And if you do, it's just kind of luck. Your goal is to fix the problem. And so paying attention to that stat and being honest about it is your best bet. That's the one I would log, and you want to get that to the point where you're seeing some progress in tournament play.